The Mockingbird media and the Marxist Democrats are doubling down on the Trump bloodbath hoax, which you undoubtedly have heard of by now. But you have to see how pathetic they are now that they painted themselves into a corner, perpetuating what could very well be the most pathetic fake news hoax and easily debunked lie ever. I mean, the Russiagate hoax was a sophisticated information warfare operation launched by intelligence agencies using fake dossiers and getting a judge to sign off on a garbage FISA warrant and spying, wiretapping on the Trump campaign. But this is just the liberal media and the Democrats taking an obvious figure of speech out of context and then pretending, lying, that Donald Trump was calling for violence. And of course, they're especially upset at us for calling them out.
Over the weekend, Donald Trump said there will be a, quote, bloodbath for the country if he loses the election in November. And after I discussed that yesterday, I think it's fair to say the right-wing ecosystem got a little unhinged out there, but they asked us to consider the context.
No, we didn't ask you to consider the context. The context was obvious, and now they're doubling down and also lying about that. And this is not something that we should just move on from. Yeah, we know that they took it out of context knowingly and they're lying about it. These lies are beyond vicious. These lies are dangerous.
Obviously, he's talking about a bloodbath for America. It's laid out in the terms of it. And these idiots on Twitter, these idiots on
He's talking about the people who are mocking them and who are obviously just showing the full context, which only requires playing more than 4 seconds of the clip.
On cable news, these idiots on Sunday shows going, well, president, you know, he was talking only about the auto industry, and this is one more. It's just bullshit. Let me say that at 6:15 a.m. It's just bullshit. He knew what he was doing.
Now, I bleep that because I run a family-friendly show around here, but that's how upset MSNBC is that they perpetuated this pathetic lie, this easily debunked hoax, and so now they're doubling down.
We're not stupid. Americans aren't stupid. He was talking about a bloodbath. Sometimes a bloodbath means a bloodbath. And when he finishes by saying, and that's just going to be the least of it, seriously?
Yes, because he wasn't just talking about the devastating effects in the auto industry. He was also talking about other economic sectors as well. Lawrence Stop the Hammering O'Donnell did a 10-minute monologue trying to gaslight his audience about the hoax, and for the entire 10-minute segment, he had the word bloodbath on the screen. Joe Biden's caretakers posted a 5-second out-of-context clip on Twitter. Actually, it was 2 different clips pasted together. It was one 3-second clip and then another 2-second clip. And then after that, put a montage of a bunch of other fake news trying to perpetuate this hoax.
Now, if I don't get elected, it's going to be a bloodbath. And it's going to be a bloodbath for the country.
Notice that jump cut there. It was a grand total of 5 seconds, maybe 4.5 seconds of out-of-context clips edited together. Then the campaign video immediately cut to footage of that Tiki Torch March back in 2017 and repeated the "there are fine people on both sides" lie, of course, omitting this clip.
And you had people, and I'm not talking about the neo-Nazis and the white nationalists, because they should be condemned totally.
And since the left can't meme, this was the best that they came up with. He was talking about the auto industry. If you saw the video that I made about this yesterday, that was mainly about the freak out over the weekend because Donald Trump made the comments on Saturday. So Saturday night, and then particularly on Sunday, liberal media completely lost their mind. Usually the weekends are a slow news day, slow news cycle on the weekends. And I was wondering whether or not they were going to be so embarrassed by their idiocy that they would just kind of move on and pretend that they didn't take that out of context and try to perpetuate the hoax. But all day yesterday, this was literally one of the top stories on every show. The Clown News Network brought Adam Kinzinger on to try to gaslight the audience.
Well, I mean, so look, on the bloodbath, I guess you can make an argument that he was talking about the auto industry. But as I was listening to that again, I caught that he said, this will be the least of our concerns. It will be a bloodbath. So it seems like he was talking about maybe more than just the auto industry. But we know, and actually I'm more concerned not by what Trump is saying, but by the fact that there are people sitting there applauding him or standing there applauding him. So, Yeah, I mean, all of those things are concerning. I think the idea that there's going to be no more elections is concerning. And what he's trying to imply is simply that.
What he's trying to imply, or rather what he's outright saying, is the obvious, that if the Democrats win the election, this country is financially toast. Sadly, nobody invited Brian Stelter on air to give his 2 cents about the Bloodbath hoax, but he did tweet about it, posting, "Hoax is the pro-Trump media's favorite word today. They're claiming that Trump's bloodbath warning was taken out of context and is a media hoax. I have thought a lot about this word since I wrote a book titled Hoax in 2020, unpacking Trump world's use of the word. The word hoax is meant to shut down debate and critical thinking. After all, there's no use in analyzing or critiquing something that's a hoax. We might as well just move on and forget Trump ever said bloodbath at all, right?" Imagine being so pathetic that you can't admit the obvious, and you have to fall in line with the Democrat groupthink and perpetuate this obvious hoax. Chunk Yogurt, on the other hand, is trying to split the baby and have it both ways by calling out the media for spreading this hoax, but, well, let me just read what he said. He posted, "I can't stand Donald Trump, and I think he's a danger to American principles, but he said bloodbath in the context of an economic speech. Given the history of calling for violence, he should be more careful, but we need to be fair. He wasn't advocating for violence this time." There are no words that can accurately describe just how pathetic, deceptive, and evil the mainstream media is in this country. This from MSNBC. The context only makes Trump's bloodbath comment worse. And as always, there's ample evidence of the Democrats doing exactly the same thing that they accused the Republicans of doing.
It could be a bloodbath for them.
Bloodbath, possibly.
Bloodbath that went through with the Attorney General.
Bloodbath 99 days out. The bloodbath is going to look like
Presided over a bloodbath in the diplomatic corps.
Another thing that they're extremely upset about is during that same rally where he mentioned the economic bloodbath in the auto industry, he also reiterated his goal to free the January 6th hostages on his first day in office.
Absolutely. I want to stay on this topic of hostages. Donald Trump has gotten a lot of attention for labeling those who are serving time for the January 6th attack,
who didn't commit any acts of violence. People like Joe Biggs, who touched a fence and didn't break anything, but was sentenced to 17 years in prison, along with many others who were sentenced to several years just for literally trespassing.
as hostages. You obviously know the difference between those convicted of crimes related to January 6th and hostages. Does it bother you that Donald Trump is using that language?
No, actually, that's the precise term that should be used to describe those poor people and the terrible injustice that they're experiencing. And this all reminds me of my long overdue Free the January 6th Hostages shirt, which you can order from my online store at markdice.com or click the link in the description below. This is another one of those designs that my distributor may ban once the wrong people in the company catch wind of it, so order it while you can. They had previously banned my There Are Only Two Genders shirt, my Arrest Dr. Fauci shirt. I've had struggles with them about the F. Joe Biden shirt, so order the Free the January 6th Hostages shirt from my online store at markdice.com or click the link in the description below while you can, and check it out.